Shamaya, you did it.
STL Music.
Welcome back to the show. So listen up, we back in the game. Sweep the league, we got the flame. Motivated to the fullest every single day. We wake up, get it in every way. Working the two in the global inspiration. Talk this sports and top news, no hesitation. Sweep the league is back. We always coming back, that's a fact. Wanna tell them that STL Music, remember we did it, where we at. Coach Jill in the house with the flow so tight. Never rubber rocks, that's we united. The best show, Monday through Friday. If this ain't different, they lying. We got the energy. When I say sweep, you say the league. Sweep the league, sweep the league, sweep the league, sweep the league. San Antonio, let's go. Sweep the league. Sweep the league. Sweep the league. San Antonio, let's go.
Hey, it's Rain Fernandez, and you're watching Sweep the League. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and Facebook at Rain Fernandez, RAYNE Fernandez.
Hi, it's Sherilyn, and you're watching Sweep the League TV. Follow me on Instagram at official Sherilyn for more content.
Yeah.
Hey, this is George Iceman Gervin, and you're listening to Sweep the League Radio.
Sweep the League TV where legends collide. If the Cowboys fall short, we'll still ride the tide. Like Jordan in the clutch or Brady's last play. We bring the fire, keeping fans in the fray. Coach Gio and Marie calling the shots. With Derek Coventry, Hall of Fame thoughts. So hit that subscribe, don't sit on the bench. Get in the game, every highlight's intense. The live stream's on till your friends don't delay. Like Kobe in the fourth, we're here to play. Sweep the League TV, where greatness resides. From the pods at the drive, till my heart's on the rise. We're all in on sports, NBA, CFB, and more for fans. By fans, it's the show you'll adore.
No fouls to give. Halliburton looking. Halliburton driving, pulls up, jump shot. It's good! It's good! With 3/10 of a second remaining. Timeout, OKC. Tyrese Halliburton does it again. Their first lead of the game.
Tyrese Halliburton does it again and again and again and again. He's got four game winners in this playoffs alone. I mean, superstar. Yeah. If you're not saying he's a superstar, like the kids say, you don't know ball. Rudy Campos Jr. for a Friday night delight edition of Sweep the League. Let's bring him on. We're not going to waste any time tonight. It's a Friday night, and we don't ever really get Coach Gio on a Friday night. So I'm like, let's get it going on Friday, Gio.
I'm glad to be here. But Rudy,
What?
superstar, I think he's playing at that level. Can he continue that is the question.
Well, so when he was playing at MVP level last year, I did, I gave him credit, and you and Derek were talking about it, and I said, you know what? I'm going to pump the brakes on Tyrese because I need to see him do it again. Now, this year, he did not put up MVP numbers, but he still had a steady year. He had a good year, man. But the playoffs, catapult.
No, he's
Catapult.
I mean, and we'll talk about it in a second, but what a game last night, Rudy. I mean,
Yeah, hell yeah.
when you talk about 4 quarters, this is the definition of playing all 4 quarters, right? It's not 2 quarters. It's not 3, it's not 3.5, right?
Yeah.
Or 3
4.
quarters and 5 minutes. You got to play the whole. And kudos to Indiana. I texted our group chat, said, they really had no business winning that game, Rudy. They really should have won, but
Well, the odds makers were watching Sweep the League when we said they were.
The magic is still here, Rudy. It's still coming. And look, if they start fooling around and win game 2,
it's over. It's done. I mean, if they win, if Indiana wins game 2, it's over with. It's done. There's the OKC will not win the series. So I'm going to tell you what I told Derek in a little bit. We got some comments, man. Leha's in here. Shout out to Leha, MCS General Contracting. Dude, they just put up a poll. Like they started doing a poll, I think in Pflugerville, Texas. I kid you not. I posted it the other day. They were getting started. I get the Twitter notification that MCS is pretty much done, ready to, add the mud and all this other stuff. They're going to finish pretty quick. That's why they're the best, dude. They're the best in the business because they get the job done right the first time, every time. They are quick. They're going to get in, get out, make sure you're happy. MCS General Contracting, contact Leha and the boys. He says he's got a cold ass Corona familiar, and I'm ready to shoot the shit. Let's go. He's ready to shoot the shit with this, man. Cold Corona. What is your beer of choice, Joe? Do you drink beer at all?
Not a very big beer drinker, but Coronas, Modelo's. I mean, my favorite is probably Mexican beer, just in general. But
Dos Equis or Corona or what? Modelo? Is it Modelo?
I'll probably go more Coronas than Modelo's. But
man, you are coconut when it comes to Mexican beer. I can't do Corona. I'm straight up Dos Equis if I'm having the choice.
No, it's still really good. But like I said, Rudy, never been a extreme drinker. But maybe if I grew up in Texas, Rudy, it's possible I would have been more of a drinker.
Oh, wait a minute. So you're saying everybody in Texas is a drinker? I have had my alcohol nights, my shenanigans.
Look, tacos and beer, Rudy, go very well together.
Well, that's why we're great big old fat people here in San Antonio and South Texas, because tacos and beers are on every. Put it this way, where LA has liquor stores and gun stores on every corner, San Antonio has taco stands and liquor stores at every corner. So I mean, yeah, Charles Barkley's right, and not just women. It's great big old fat people in San Antonio, and I'll admit, because I'm from San Antonio and I'm still a great big old fat person. I'm not the great big old fat person I used to be, but I'm still a great big old fat person. There's no doubt about that. If Pacers win it all and Hallie wins Finals MVP, he officially has to change his name to Himmy Burton. I can get down with that. Grading the Market's back tomorrow live at 1:00. Jacob, Eric, and Anthony are going to take you home at 1:00 tomorrow. Grading the Market, Sweep the League Network. Do not forget. Grading the Market tomorrow at 1:00. Shout out to Jacob, Eric, and Anthony. Fast, great quality, not cheap by any means, but we are the best in the game. They are the best in the game. MCS General Contracting. They're not going to cut corners. They're not going to do any of that. They're going to get the job done right the first time, every time. Contact Leha and the boys out there. MCS General Contracting. Geo. So, not really a surprise the Pacers won. We kind of figured that would happen. We said that when OKC has a long layoff, they tend to come out a little sluggish. They came out hot. I thought I saw a stat where the Pacers had the lead for 0.3 seconds of the game. That's it. The very end of the game was the only time the Pacers led the entire game. The series is going to be phenomenal. But I'm going to give you the comment that I made to Derek, and I'm going to give you the platform here. Derek and I talked, and I said, we all knew game 1 was going to go to Indiana. No doubt about that. He says, if they don't win game 2, if the Oklahoma City does not win game 2, the series is over. I agree. I said, Oklahoma City has to win game 2, and they have to win game 3. Because if you give Indiana just a little bit of hope somewhere in these next 2 games and they win one of these next 2, I'm sorry, but the Pacers are going to win. What do you think on that?
Well, really, hope does crazy things to your mindset. And I've told you about these playoffs, Rudy, and we talked about the injuries that the Cavs had in Milwaukee, and, then the Knicks were fairly healthy. Rudy, it doesn't matter if you keep getting confidence, you keep playing. And Rudy, they're playing at a supreme confidence. I didn't like the 25 turnovers. They got to cut that down, because Oklahoma City is just a complete menace on the D. It's just unbelievable just to watch. Every loose ball, it seems like it's going their way. Mm-hmm. But I agree, Rudy. If they don't win game 2, I mean, look, could they go on the road and win 2? Possible, but
very unlikely, though.
Very unlikely. I think Oklahoma City needs to reset. I think they win game 2, Rudy. Something tells me they'll come back, and we saw what happened in the Minnesota series, remember, they lost by like 40 points, Rudy. I mean, it was a complete annihilation.
Mhm.
And they go ahead and win game 4, then win game 5. I'm probably leaning towards their way to win game 2. But if Indiana wins game 2, I can only imagine the fans here at Indiana. I mean, it's going to be a raucous crowd in Indianapolis for game 3.
It's already going to be crazy because you're going to be at least coming back to Indiana minimum 1-1 at 500 in a split. So you took care of business already in OKC. I think this is going to be one of the few games, game 2, which is going to be on Sunday. I think this is going to be one of the few games where it's going to be a double-digit victory. I think Oklahoma City wins by maybe 11, 12 points roughly. Then they rebound. They regroup. You go into Indiana, was tied 1-1, game 3. It's like, what, 60% of the time or 70% of the time, whoever wins game 3 wins the series in a tied scenario. So that's what I'm saying. Oklahoma City's got to win the next 2. It's a must that they win the next 2. But going back to Halliburton, man, we got Spurs fans. I'm throwing this in there that keep saying, if they would have drafted Halliburton instead of Vassell, which Halliburton was drafted 1 pick after Vassell, look, we could have had this, we could have had that. Going into the what if scenario, because Jeff Garcia on Locked On Spurs always goes into the what if scenarios. I mean, look at the scenario then, dude. You had DeJounte Murray, Derek White, DeMar DeRozan. I mean, you had a crowded backcourt when it came to drafting Halliburton. So what were they trying to do? The Spurs were still trying to replace what you kind of lost in Kawhi Leonard. They went and got Lonnie Walker, a year or 2 before that. Didn't work out. Devin Vassell was supposed to be the next, two-way player that was supposed to come in, be a defender, score, all this stuff. Hasn't really panned out. Do you blame them for passing on Halliburton? Because I'll be real, bro. I didn't know Tyrese was going to be this good in the NBA. Not a lot of people. Dude, lottery picks in general rarely hit in superstardom. I mean, that's just common knowledge, dude. I would think.
I mean, Rudy, look, woulda, coulda, shoulda. I mean, 2020, of course, you're saying, well, yeah, like, we should have drafted him. I mean, it's like the Clippers saying, well, yeah, we shouldn't have traded SGA, Rudy, for a bag of peanuts, right? I mean,
Paul George, a bag of peanuts? At the time, you know what? He was like Planters. So, yeah, I mean, he was a good kind of peanuts.
I mean, look, of course, but Rudy, we don't know if Tyrese is with the Spurs, Rudy. I don't know
if that door. Open up Pandora's box.
I don't know if he's all that good. I mean, look, we see what Vassell and what Vassell went to Florida State, I believe, Rudy.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Wasn't killing over there. I mean, you never really know, Rudy. I always tell you, we talk about this in football. It matters where you go, when. The stars need to sometimes align. And listen, he went to Sacramento, right? Didn't work out for whatever the case may be. Yeah, and it's working out in Indiana. He also had a very good veteran coach, right? I mean, one of the best coaches in the NBA. That helps. Not that Pop's not, but I'm just saying the Spurs at the time, I just don't know if that was going to be a healthy spot for him to grow with a team that it seemed like everybody got their agenda these days.
I just don't see them taking him at the time because of, like I mentioned, the crowded backcourt that they had already. I mean, they weren't looking to replace or to add, a point guard. I mean, you had Derek White and DeJounte Murray at the same time on that team the year that they were heading into the draft. So, but I get Spurs fans are upset. I mean, look at the other teams, dude. Cleveland could have got him at 5. Why aren't Cavalier fans bitching? The Chicago Bulls at 4 went with Patrick Williams. Why aren't they bitching?
Sure why Spurs fans are even, dude, it doesn't matter. I mean, look, everything happens for a reason, and we might get Tyrese, and guess what, Rudy? He couldn't have been he could be already out the door. I mean, we don't know. Yes, 2020 is always amazing to see it from a different standpoint. But at the end of the day, Spurs fans, even if he had him, we probably wasn't going to do anything anyway.
Man, are they a playoff team if they keep him? Like if they drafted Hallie,
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
they wouldn't be bad enough to get a top pick later on. I don't think.
I don't know his different team, different system. I just don't know how he would have turned. Sure, if you're saying this Tyrese, right?
There's
playoff,
no Steph Castle.
Yeah, I mean,
probably no Wemby.
No, I see. Yeah, no, really, we're not going to the playoffs. Let's just put it that way. No. So Spurs fans, whoever's talking about this on X, I'm not on there these days. But
talk about playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
Indiana. What a Spurs fan always has to say, man, if he was on our team, dude, he's not. Just give it a rest.
Oh, dude, it's the same thing when you open up Twitter and you see, oh, hey, this player is going to be available because he's going to get bought out. Wait 5 seconds, then you're going to see 30 posts on the Spurs. He would make a great Spur. Spurs should sign him. Brian Wright, you know what to do. Hey, he needs to be a Spur because of that. Not every fucking player can be a Spur, dude. I mean, I'm sorry, but not every player can just jump in to the silver and black. I mean, that irritates the crap out of me all the time. Or hey, in the case of Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo. I mean, these guys are available by trade. I see nothing but Spurs. Well, Spurs are this, Spurs that. We need this, we need that. Jesus Christ. I mean, not every player can be a Spur. 100%, dude. Not everyone can be a Spur. I'm sorry. You just really can't.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, look, it's just everything on Twitter or X. It's always something with Spurs fans. It's arguing. It's this. It's that. Drama, relationships. It's always just really odd to me what's going on in San Antonio.
You are really throwing in relationships.
You know what I'm talking about, but we won't get into that.
Hey man, we're after hours now. You can do whatever the hell you want. You want to get into whatever you want. It doesn't matter. I don't know. Sith is in here. What up? He's saying what up, man. And also Sith is saying everyone said we should have signed Jeremy Lin after the Linsanity movement. God bless, man. I mean, yeah, every player makes sense for San Antonio. It doesn't matter who it is.
Well, Rudy, when you don't make the playoffs and you're not really there, maybe that's what people would just want to say. Well, maybe we get this guy. Dude, the Spurs probably will have a few moves this offseason, and that's it.
They're gonna. So let me ask you this now. Do you think the same team that they have is the same team that goes into next year, with the exception of the 2nd and 14th pick? Like, do you see them making a significant move for one of these guys? And keep in mind today, apparently there's a report or something that Kevin Durant told somebody, I'm going to be in San Antonio or something like that. I'm going to be a Spur. I'm just paraphrasing. I'm going to be a Spur. That's Kevin Durant talking. Again, apparently Phoenix is just going to say, you know what? Send us whatever. Send us churros and freaking, fajita tacos. We're going to give you Kevin Durant. That's all it is. Do you think they make any moves at all?
Maybe. I don't know yet, Rudy. I know there's a lot of rumors. 1 minute it's Kevin Durant. The next minute it's the ice cream man. I mean, I don't know who. There's someone every minute. I don't know. I really honestly don't know. I'm leaning towards no, Rudy. They might keep most of this team intact. You get Kevin Durant, you really shake things up. But you also put the pressure on coaching, staff. Hey, we need to make this work. But also, Kevin, as you said the other day, Rudy, Kevin's getting up. He's up there in age.
Yeah.
I mean, how long does Kevin Durant really have? He had a phenomenal season last year, but I don't know if he's even the short-term fix. How much does he have left in the tank? He's also always fighting someone on social media these days with burner accounts. So I don't know how much he has left, but Giannis would be a little bit more intriguing because he is 30 years old. But besides those two guys, Rudy, I mean, and we talked about Jaylen Brown. That would be interesting. That would be appealing to me. But
Jaylen Brown's name came up, because the guy's like, well, I would look at San Antonio, and I'm like, we've been talking about Jaylen Brown as a guy that they should look at. I mean, perfect fit. And what's crazy is Boston doesn't want anything in return other than maybe at best the number 2 pick. That's it. So would you trade number 2 for Jaylen Brown, knowing Boston doesn't want salary really in return because they're trying to get under the cap?
I would probably say, yeah, he would definitely be very intriguing.
I would take Jaylen Brown all day, every day, man.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, game over. I am here, y'all. What is up, Joel? I appreciate you joining us in here. It is a Friday Night Delight edition of Sweep the League. Almost 100 people in the chat. Well, on the stream. So we're trying to get to 100 people. Sit to saying, love me a good fajita taco. I think if I'm not mistaken, tomorrow is Sith's birthday.
What
Yeah.
the fuck?
I think it is his birthday tomorrow. If it is, shout out to Sith, man. Shout out to Sith. The House versus NCAA settlement has been approved. It will allow all Division I schools to directly pay players for the first time in NCAA history. What do you think of that, dude? I've got my thoughts on all the NIL and shit already. I've even got even more thoughts on that. That's kind of pissing me off. But what do you think of that?
I don't mind. I think, look, with anything, you need rules, you need things in place. The NIL has been, let's just say, very interesting. There's a lot of loopholes. There's weird stuff that happens. 1 minute, a guy's here. 5 months later, he transfers. But no, really, I'm perfectly fine with that. Colleges were getting paid tons of money. I mean, and we've seen players try to get there. We saw Johnny Manziel's situation. We saw Todd Gurley get suspended. We've seen guys take money, quote unquote, underneath. And there's a lot. I mean, Charles Barkley has been very open about that type of stuff with, schools paying, under the table or taking a cut, whatever the case may be. I'm fine with it already. This is the era, but let's do it smart. Be smart about it.
So let's go smart about this. Again, I love how we transition from this to that to this and back to this. Let me transition this with NIL. If it's not NIL and it's Division I paying their players now, is it a must, a guarantee that these kids need to be held accountable and their feet to the fire? So, scenario, Coach Gio is the number 1 recruit. Hey, we're going to give you a deal to come to school here. But here's the stipulation. You don't get a scholarship. Scholarships are reserved for those that don't really get paid. Because you gotta understand, not everybody gets NIL money. I mean,
I don't know about that, Rudy. I think you're going to open up Pandora's box on that.
Well, why give person a scholarship if they're going to be making $1 million? Do they really need the scholarship money?
Okay, but let's say Michigan, right, Rudy?
Okay.
How much they're making on game days, and they're bringing in tons of money throughout the year. I think scholarships are still fine, plus an added bonus, so that way they don't transfer, Rudy. I think there's levels to this. Clearly,
So, Go ahead.
No, just trying to figure out what makes the most sense. I mean, so Carson Beck. I'm interested to understand, did Carson Beck was he on scholarship last year? I mean, he made it. I don't know how that really works. There's some things that I'm kind of still cloudy on, but I mean, think about this.
Why give them scholarship though? Like, why give anybody a free ride, knowing that money can go to somebody who's not making NIL money or making very little NIL money right now?
That's true. I see the pros in there.
So getting back to that, I say F the scholarships for your top athletes. You don't need a scholarship money there. So F that. But here's the other part. Contracts. If it's going to be a business, treat the damn thing like a business. If Coach Gio gets signed to play for not Alabama because he doesn't like Alabama, but if the Georgia Bulldogs said, Coach Gio, you are going to be a Bulldog, you are going to be our number one guy on defense. Your NIL money is probably going to add up to like $2.4 million a year. But the difference is, Coach, I need you to sign a 4-year deal with an option on the 4th year in case you want to go to the NFL. But if you want to transfer in one of these first 3 years, you have to buy out your contract. You have to pay a buyout to us. That is the only way this shit works. Because, again, Coach Traylor at UTSA, Coach, who's the Signetti at Indiana. You know, you got these coaches that are developing players just to go play at a bigger school and make more money. It's not the coach's fault that you don't have the money in the backing. So they've got to put buyout clauses in this shit, or it's just not gonna work, dude. It's not gonna work at all.
Yeah, no, I completely get it. I think the players right now have the leverage. I mean, they have the ability. I'm reading up on this really. It says you can get a scholarship and you can earn money through NIL. So these players are double dipping. But really, even if you get $1 million, I mean, tuition at Ohio State's for a year is still pretty pricey. I think they're going to continue to give scholarships, Rudy. I just think that's going to be a thing. And the NIL would just be extra.
So instead of the scholarship, why not just, why not just, you've got free room and board if you want it. Or you've got, you're going to be in class. So you've got, free education, stuff like that. I mean, that to me, that's the part that I don't like is the scholarship part, dude. You're taking money away from a guy who's not going to be able to earn NIL money, or at least a whole lot of NIL money. And then he's not good enough for a scholarship.
I mean, this helps now, right? Because it sounds like now it's not just the boosters, it could be the school.
The school can pay it. Yeah.
Because I think the boosters are originally were the ones who were pocketing this money. And like schools like UTSA, Rudy, I don't know how much.
That's a great
question. Are the boosters really like, I know Texas has money, but is UTSA getting? Probably not, right? Like I don't.
They don't have Texas money. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. So boosters, and again, I see it on Twitter all the time. They're raising money.
Oh yeah,
they're getting money from boosters. They're asking fans, hey, you want to donate? Yada yada. Cool. I get that. Hey, alumni, y'all want to chip in $100, each. Cool. But now they're saying the school can pay the players too. But UTSA is not, like they're not a big money school. So again, you're going to pay players from the school funds. So what does that do? Tuition rises, I'm sure. So it's like you're kind of just beating a dead horse, I guess. It's going to come from somewhere.
I mean, Rudy, this has changed the landscape. I mean, remember, before you could transfer, Rudy, you had to sit out a year.
Yeah.
In most cases, you had to sit out a year, which is kind of crazy to think now. But you had to sit out a year. People weren't transferring like that. And you can also build teams, right? Like you could build a Hawaii with Colt Brennan, right? You could build a Boise State. And it's just so many other now you could just literally buy an offseason. You can buy. We saw what Indiana did last year. They got a lot of recruits. They're continuing that success this season in the transfer portal. And we saw Colorado, right? They have turned to friend. Colorado before, and I know it's obviously Travis Hunter and Shedeur, but really, that team was terrible. I mean, they won like one game. 2 years in the
Mhm.
portal, they almost won 10 games. So that just tells you how important now, Rudy. But these schools, UTSA, I mean, they don't have that type of money. Still playing good, right? Still a solid program. But, you know, could they get a few top recruits? Sure. You're probably able to pay. But Rudy, look at this. I saw that there's the Women's College World Series going on right now.
Yeah.
And Texas Tech, the pitcher, I forgot her name. I actually watched a little bit of the game yesterday. She's getting $1 million in NIL. And I'm just curious, Rudy, is this money ever going to run out? Like, because it's not just football.
I don't know, man.
It's apparently women's softball, right? All these sports are getting paid. I mean, look at in college baseball, Vanderbilt, which has one of the best programs in the country. I'm sure they're paying their players, and that's not particularly a big school in the SEC, a little bit more smaller. But I'm just curious, how are they? I mean, now obviously the schools are going to be able to help, but really, it's just interesting, man. Like how much money is just going around, and we're not getting numbers per se, but it's kind of mama just to think about.
So I guess let me look at it like this. You brought up a magnificent point. Shout out to the Texas Longhorn women's softball team. They beat Texas Tech tonight 10-4. So if I'm not mistaken, they're your national championship winners for softball. So shout out to Texas. But you brought up a good point, and this is it. Does the schools paying their players now, do we start to see TV deals for these schools? So now UTSA is like, you know what? Forget this conference. We need to get into the Big 12. We need to get into that money, because now that TV money would trickle down to all the schools, which helps them, get funded for their players. So now you talk about realignment. So now do we see what you've talked for years about, legitimately like 4 super conferences, and that's it?
Yeah,
are we into the super conference talk?
It's possible. I know the SEC and the Big Ten have talked about this. And Rudy, we saw what happened to the Pac-12. I mean, now they're back, right? Like I think several schools have come. It's going to look more like a Mountain West Pac-12 than anything, but they're having schools get in. And Rudy, UTSA, some of these schools better think ahead. Like you're going to have to go to the Big 12, like especially the Big 12. If you want to compete, if you want that TV money, if you want that stuff, teams like that are going to have to go big. Even maybe Memphis, who is another pretty good team in the American Conference the last several years. I've heard a lot of rumblings of a super conference coming very, very soon, whether that's the SEC with the Big Ten. I don't know. I doubt that. But what, USC is now in the Big Ten, Rudy? I mean, one school that I get annoyed with, though, Notre Dame, you need to pick a damn conference, because that's one team. I get why they're doing this, because they got that special treatment with NBC, even though I don't watch any of those games. But Notre Dame is kind of smart, though, because now they have that TV deal. But then in basketball, they're in the ACC. It's like, okay, whatever. But no, so yeah, Rudy, it's going to be the next 5-10 years. College football is going to be very different. I know people love traditions. They love those games, but more and more we're seeing more rivalry games take a pause. I know the Holy War had taken a pause, which is Utah versus BYU. You're going to get more of that, Rudy. Probably the rivalry, right? The pageantry of college football in the next 10 years. I'm not sure what that's going to look like.
I can't even imagine. I mean, we're talking maybe 3 super conferences. I mean, big golly, dude. Big Ten, SEC, and then maybe the Big 12. Just 3 massive conferences. What, maybe 20 schools in each? possibly. I mean, you're right.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. But schools like UTSA are going to have to make that decision. We
The
get
thing
into
is,
some
though,
comments. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You go into the Big 12, Rudy, and you could take a big hit for the next 5 years. It could set your program back because
Mhm.
the competition's better. We saw, and I know Texas isn't a measuring stick, but Texas wasn't a Big 12 previously, and UTSA got literally destroyed, if I remember correctly.
They were in it for a half.
Well, anyway, yeah. So I'm interested to see what teams leave. Like I said, the Pac-12 is expanding. I mean, if I'm UTSA, you kind of want to look at that as well. I know it's going to be more like a Mountain West conference, but there's money there. But I'm interested, what they do. And then you also have UTEP there. I know they're not there. They're in El Paso, right?
Yeah. They're in
So-
Texas. Texas, El Paso.
Yeah.
So, comments coming in. Got a few comments to get to. Sit the saying, F that league if they get paid like that. You know what? Yeah, give me on that one. Y'all says, I only learned about boosters through the Blindside movie. I didn't know shit about NCAA.
Which,
and
by the
NIL.
way, The Blind Side is a poor representation, apparently, of Michael Lohr, because he
I've never
sued.
seen it.
He sued. I don't know if it was the family or that movie's not real. I think the concept is real, but the actual
Well, Michael Orr
story.
is real. I mean, the guy.
Yes,
is real.
yeah. He's definitely real, but that story actually came out to be pretty fake, according to him. So
Wasn't he suing Sandra Bullock? Wasn't she a part of some?
no, she's an listen. I'm not blaming Sandra. She's just an actress. She's just. But I think he sued the family, if I'm not wrong. And because the story of the movie was basically a guy who came from a tough part of town, and then they kind of play like the white savior, and yeah, it was just kind of a interesting. I thought it was a good movie for what it was, but you find out it was a fake story.
Well, isn't Hollywood fake?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, yeah, Hollyweird, as I like to call it. Yeah.
Know your role and shut your mouth.
You know, The Rock. WWE is going through some tough times right now, Rudy.
hold that thought because we want to talk. About that. I know Sith is here, and Sith is going to go crazy on that topic. Hold that thought real quick, man. Joel Colon says schools are now like Congress.
Yeah.
It was fundraising, couldn't give two shits about the money, about the program, much like Congress doesn't give two shits about the constituents. It's all a money grab. Also, we got Sith Lord in here. Schools are allowed to distribute as much as $20.5 million this academic year. NIL deals over 600 will be NCAA vetted. All right. I mean, those are the rules. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be stupid crazy when it comes to NIL type of stuff going on, especially with the new rules about the Division I schools being able to pay their players. UTSA, they're going to have to switch conferences. I'm going to see if I can get somebody from UTSA, one of the guys that covers the team, maybe to come on next week and we can hash it out with them a little bit because I want to see their take on that. But does UTSA have to make that move? Speaking of moves, dude, you're right. I mean, WWE, TKO, R-Truth, he got cut, or the contract's not gonna be renewed, and that's kind of bad. What the fuck? You got other people that are gonna be released. Who are the other guys? I think Karrion Kross is another guy that was gonna be gone. There's other guys as well. The Miz is another one who's probably not getting renewed. I even heard, and Sith is in here, I even heard Gunther is not gonna be returning.
I didn't hear that. I was like, that's surprising to me. Well, Roman Reigns, Rudy, apparently they're asking him to take a pay cut. Your top guy.
Yeah.
The top guy. I think he makes $15 million a year, which he's definitely worth it. But Rudy, apparently TKO is in $3 billion debt right now. And it's a bit of a train wreck. Triple H, a lot of people are saying his job should be in question. And
well, so Triple H, how much is it his fault? I mean, basically inherited this fucking bullshit.
Yeah, but we didn't hear all this when Vince McMahon was here.
Well,
We also heard other things about Vince that we won't get into, but
yeah, I mean,
well, Vince, Vince has a new company, right? I don't know what it's about yet, but Vince has a brand new company. I don't know if he's opening up a promotion or what he's going to do, but really, Vince McMahon is the one you look at. It's kind of like in your coach, right? When things go wrong, Rudy, they look at you, and we're looking at him. Not just him, but what's been going on. I know they're about to have a show coming on, Rudy, where they're going to bring everyone into the eyes of the writers of WWE, which I'm not sure if that's the best move, but hey, it's coming on Netflix. But he's the one to look to, and you're getting rid of guys. There's a lot of rumors. Your companies or the TKO's in debt, big time. I don't know. It's just not looking good. And then you ask your top guy apparently to take a pay cut.
So I'll be honest, man. With the thing with WWE, and this has been for years. I know that it sounds stupid, so you can call me stupid. But there's just too much fucking talent for a wrestling company. You have a lot of big guys who are championship material, deserve the title, can put people over, have great mics. I mean, it's the package. But you have too many players in this game. I mean, to me, it kind of waters down the entire thing, dude. Like, it really waters down the whole damn thing for me.
We need WCW back, Rudy.
I mean, truthfully, yeah, because AEW is, I mean, that's just terrible.
AEW, man. I know TNA is still floating around the weeds there. Once upon a time, they had Perk Angle, which was a phenomenal character, aka Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
Wrestling. I was talking to a friend the other day. There used to be so many promotions, territories, right? You had guys in different areas of the country, and now Vince McMahon he bought everybody up. He took over, and he's not there anymore. I mean, really, where did he go from here?
I really don't even
They might call us to go start wrestling, Rudy.
Well, shit, man. I mean, that's what I'm saying. WWE, TKO, didn't they acquire TNA? Or, I mean, we didn't acquire it. They're like
going to be on
they're like partners.
Yeah, partners with I think NXT guys will also wrestle over there. And then I know this guy came at WrestleMania with
Joe Hendry.
Yeah, which I thought was pretty cool.
If you say his name, apparently he appears.
Well, he did get a little bit buried on that match with Randy, but
but it's the WrestleMania moment for Joe Hendry. That is what you wanted to see. So I don't know, but apparently they effed up him as well on the whole TNA stick, losing the title. I don't know, man. I just think it's too much. Like, you have too much talent, and you can't spread, you can't tell, let's put it this way. It's like if Marvel released every fucking movie at one time. You're kind of like, okay, well, this is the storyline. That's the storyline. Well, this is the storyline. How does that cross here? What does this do? That it's just too much, dude. Back in the day, you had jobbers. The Brooklyn Brawler was on freaking Monday Night Raw every week, just, getting his ass kicked by Red Rooster. I mean, it didn't really matter back then.
I think people knew their roles, right? You had the guys, you had the lower tiers, you had your mid cards.
Give me a hell yeah.
And then you had your main eventers, right? And every era had them. And listen, I don't watch WWE as much as I used to. Still watch it every now and then.
Yeah.
But it is not looking good for Triple H and that whole ownership group. Though shout out to the Chicago White Sox, because they're probably going to get new ownership in the next 5 years as they plan to sell. So
There you go.
They need
Chicago
money,
White Sox,
Rudy.
man.
I don't know how a team in Chicago is that freaking terrible. And also, the Colorado Rockies are also terrible.
Oh, God, 10 wins. Are they what, 10-50 or 10-50 something?
Dude, that team, they could be worse than the White Sox last year, which was kind of the laughing joke. The Rockies, but really, some of these owners in baseball don't spend any money. I mean, absolutely no money.
Well, you know that for a fact. Your team doesn't spend anything anyway.
We don't spend anything. We're barely holding on.
Mhm.
Cal Raleigh has had a remarkable, I think he has 24, 25 home runs.
Yeah.
Cal, I love you. I just hope you're not on the juice, bud, because it does seem kind of crazy that you are literally, but he's always been a power hitter, so it's not anything unlikely. He did lose some weight. He looks good. He's been hitting. The Mariners are going to need as many bats as we can possibly get.
100%, dude. Coach Joe, really accomplished. Get some of the comments. I don't think St. Philip's College has $20 million to shut out, though. Yeah, he's talking about NIL. St. Philip's College. I don't even know if St. Philip's College has 20,000 right now to give away NIL money. TKO fucked up WWE. That's according to Sith. Gunther is just on vacation, but man, they're asking Roman to rework his $15 million contract. They'll give him the money if he shows up weekly, but Roman won't want that schedule. So yeah, if you're gonna want the money, got to show up.
You do have to show up, and I've talked about this in the past. Roman, he fights a few times a year and gets $15 million. I mean, Rudy, that's like you at your job, Rudy.
Whoa.
Wait. You want the same salary, but you only work once a week. You can't do that, right?
Wait a minute. I haven't seen a pay raise in forever. So I mean,
no. But what I'm saying is, your job wouldn't expect you to work once a week and still get paid the same, right? So Roman Reigns, I've always said this for you. It's a little interesting how now he's been coming for a while, but he wrestles a few times a year and he still gets paid the highest. It's always like, well, now they want you to come to work every day. And
so what about the guys? Again, it's so weird how we talk wrestling and it goes for everything else because, this in today's NBA, you manage your game management and you're taking days off because, I need rest. I need this. But yeah, you're making 10 times more than what they made back in the day when they were playing 82 games and not wanting, Kobe and Mike playing injured, all this other stuff. Where when LeBron, shaves his legs and then he gets a small cut, he's out for 2 weeks. I mean, that's the problem.
Show some respect, Rudy. Come on, LeBron James.
What the fuck?
I'm just saying, dude. I mean, the guy, can bite his nails and then he's out because he's got a freaking, nail problem. I mean, that's what I'm saying. But same with WWE. These guys got paid shit back in the day. Wrestling 355 days a year?
Dude, there's so many wrestling shoot videos on YouTube. Just go watch about these guys. Really, they're literally driving.
Yeah.
From city to city. They might be in Lubbock, Texas one day, and then they got to drive overnight to Memphis, Tennessee the next. Yeah. And then they're all driving together, right? So Undertaker used to drive with Yokozuna. Some people used to drive with the Iron Sheik. They said it was terrible. Like, it's just the stories you hear about these guys getting very little, but they love the business, Rudy. Right?
Plus they had to pay their hotels, their own hotel.
And their own hotels. It wasn't until probably, I'm thinking, late 90s when Vince started doing that for them, or even 2000s maybe. I don't know, but these guys weren't getting stuff like that unless you were like Hogan or maybe Andre, right? But
Yokozuna in a fucking rental. What? I mean, the guy wasn't in a damn Miata or even a freaking, I don't know what, Corolla. They had to drive. They had to go get one of those Econoline vans, I'm sure.
Undertaker said that boy Yoko can eat. I can imagine.
I would sure as hell hope so. If you're that fucking big.
Yokozuna, rest in peace, but that guy could eat. And imagine going on a ride with the Iron Sheik, Rudy.
I bet it smelled like shit in that damn car with the Sheik. The Sheik just looked like he smelled like
Some of
terrible.
the stories you hear, what the fuck, is just from Scott Hall not wanting to work with Goldust because he thought, well, it's Goldust, right? Like, it's just so many stories you hear on the road. It's just go watch those guys. If y'all want wrestling old school videos, go on YouTube, type in WWE shoots, and you get tons of interviews of just old school stuff. It's great to hear.
I'm gonna do that. Because I've seen a lot of these episodes and these people talking, and it's just, some of the stuff they say is crazy. Triple H is a yes man. He only deals with creative. Khan is the cuck who's doing whatever TKO and Hunter want. I suspect the Hunter will be fired soon. We're saying that. Breaking kayfabe for a Netflix show is fucking corny, man. We don't need that behind the scenes. The sponsors, Slim Jim logo on the tables, and that's.
I saw that.
It's everywhere. All right, give me a break, dude.
Dude, I don't even like Slim Jims, man. I find it.
I think I've had Slim Jim once in my entire life, and that was because we were driving, wherever on a road trip, and I was hungry. When you pull into a freaking Diamond Shamrock from back in the day, and all they had was damn Slim Jim. So yeah, I ate a Slim Jim, but yeah, I mean, but you know what I really hate, Gio? I hate the freaking Prime bottle that's just there. I mean, that big old Prime bottle, and get all that stupid shit out of there. I mean, I'm tired of it. There's other ways to market it. I don't get that at all, dude. Hunter's bookings have not been great either.
That's another thing.
Yeah, tomorrow's Money in the Bank in the afternoon. AAA will be hosting their crossover show with NXT. The AAA, I love the fact because I'm a big AAA fan, but I don't see how it works, dude. I really don't. I'm not too sure. Don't know St. Philip's too hard though. The degree I'm getting there is costing me only $10K, which I'm paying out of pocket, so I won't be in debt rather than $40K at Garland College. Yeah, so St. Philip's. I mean. Yeah, St. Philip's NIL deal. You're probably asking for scholarships there.
Some schools, that school that beat Purdue in the first round. Well, what was that school that beat 16, beat a 1? It was just a few years ago. Apparently, they're leaving Division One. They're leaving Division One basketball. They're going to, I think, Division 2 or 3. It's just too much. So, Rudy, I think we're going to see a lot of schools, particularly smaller schools who are in Division 1, say, you know what? I'm done. We're going to go back down to Division 2 or 3.
But doesn't that screw up the program?
It does, Rudy, but some schools just also can't afford it. So,
man, I never thought about that.
We're seeing more and more schools go down in classification. We are seeing schools obviously go up as well. I think was it Delaware State or someone's going to be in Division I football this year. There's teams also going up. Watch out for another school, Rudy. I think it's Sacramento State. Apparently has a lot of money, and they're looking to get into Division I sports in the next few years. So there are some smaller schools that actually have money, and they're looking to gain in classification. But we're also seeing a lot of schools also say, you know what, this isn't working. Some schools have cut other sports too, Rudy, which is also happening a lot as well. They're cutting sports that they just can't afford. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. The NIL has really changed the game.
It's changed the game a lot, like a whole lot, dude. I'm tired of every day, every year, seeing guys put up numbers and then, you know what, I'm going to transfer because I'm going to get 2 million over here instead of my million and a half over here. So it's the negotiation thing. It's tiring. It's NIL. It's Coach Gio. It's Rudy Campos Jr. We're almost done here on a Friday Night Delight edition of Sweep the League. Going back to the NBA real quick, dude. I want to run this by you because I've got something when it came to Giannis. I started thinking the Spurs were a perfect fit for him, yeah. But where else could Giannis Antetokounmpo go? Toronto's been mentioned. I don't see them going to Toronto. He's not going to win in Toronto because they're going to have to give up Scotty Barnes. They're going to give up RJ Barrett. They're going to give up players to make it work. Where's the perfect spot? Because Giannis has made mention he'd love to stay on the East Coast in the Eastern Conference. So picks involved. This is what I look at. I'm starting to get on the Knicks bandwagon for Giannis Antetokounmpo right here. So the New York Knicks would send OG Anunoby, Mitchell Robinson, Tyler Kolek, and a couple of picks. The Knicks don't have a whole lot of picks. I think they have maybe 3 first rounders from 2026 to 2030, I think. So they're going to throw one in there, maybe not. But what does this do? Brook Lopez is a free agent. If you get Mitchell Robinson in there, you got your center. He works well, in Milwaukee. But you also get OG Anunoby in there who can play alongside Dame Lillard. And of course, you've got to get a couple more things. But this is where I see Giannis maybe going to New York, pairing up with Karl-Anthony Towns, Jalen Brunson. I think this is an ideal move for the Knicks if they make it. What are you thinking on this right now?
I mean, really, I've seen, though, a similar trade, though, with both OG and Karl-Anthony Towns.
I have seen that.
Okay, so Milwaukee's mindset here is, right, because you get OG. Is Dame's still there, right? I mean,
he's out for pretty much the year. Remember, he tore his ACL. So he'll
he's
be
out for the year.
Minimum 8 months, 9 months.
Milwaukee might want Karl too, though, Rudy. And
could be.
Possibly. If they do this trade, get Giannis, Karl, and Brunson, I do like that mix. Obviously, the Knicks, they need to work on their depth, Rudy. You can't keep playing 5 guys. And I've always told you about the Knicks the last few years. So, Rudy, they just run out of gas. They got no energy. Rudy, they led the league in their starters in minutes. I mean, there was one game, Rudy, we talked about. Their entire starting lineup played 40-something minutes. It's just, dude, it's just not sustainable. I like that mix. And if this was to go and they can fill out their roster and really get that, Rudy, you're looking at a team who I think could definitely get to the finals next year if healthy. But Karl and Jalen got to work on their defense because they're a bit of a liability.
But I mean, on a defensive standpoint, doesn't this kind of help the Knicks defensively with Giannis?
I mean, you're getting. I mean, it sucks the OG gone, but you get Giannis in the middle of his prime, Rudy. I mean, it wasn't too long ago, Rudy, that he had 50 points in Game 6 of the NBA Finals. Right? It's not that long ago.
Yeah.
He's still there. You tear him up, put him in New York City, the Garden. So, already question.
Yeah, good.
If this trade is done, let's say in the middle of the year, do you think the Knicks are in the finals instead of the Pacers?
Karl-Anthony Towns, Giannis, Brunson. I think so, by a smidge. I'm going to say if Tibbs is the coach, probably not. I would say probably not if Tibbs is the coach.
I think they're in the finals, Rudy. Because think about this. Out of those Knicks guys there, Giannis is the only one who can really explode consistently to get you 30 a night. I mean, obviously, he has to share the ball with Karl and Jalen, so it's going to be a little bit different. But I almost feel like I look at Giannis and say that's 25, 30 points right there.
Yeah.
And OG, I just don't at least consistently see that. So, really, I think they get to the finals, and I think they got a good shot to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder.
this Knicks team, if they've got Giannis,
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I think okay, if Tibbs is smart, I mean, he's playing his bench a little more because he still has a bench. I mean, if technically if this is the trade right here, you still got a pretty damn good bench you can work with. I mean, this was the trade that I looked at. Like, if he wants to stay in the East Coast, and then obviously rumors come out today about Jason Kidd. You know, they want to talk to Jason Kidd. They want to be able to talk to him and do. I mean, you know, Gensau was all that stuff. They want to talk to him. They want him to be the next head coach. You know, when it comes to being the coach for the Knicks. Does it happen? I think it does, dude. I think there's a lot of fire behind Jason Kidd to the Knicks. If that happens, remember he coached Giannis for a while in Milwaukee. I like Jason Kidd in New York. I don't know if Dallas would necessarily agree with it, but I do like Jason Kidd going to New York. I mean, that's I don't know.
If I'm management or ownership, I think I would let Kidd go just because look, he wants a new opportunity. And do they trade NBA coaches really? I don't remember. Do they do that?
Doc Rivers was traded.
That's right.
I don't know why. Guys, Glenn is a little bit terrible, but whatever. I mean,
meanwhile, Sam Cassell still can't get a job.
Are we still on that bandwagon? Apparently, nobody listens to anybody when it comes to Sam Cassell.
How does Chauncey Billups? Well, is Chauncey the coach still in Portland?
Yeah, he's in Portland. I'm pretty sure he's still the coach in Portland.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So if Chauncey gets a job, but Sam Cassell can't get a job. Mark Jackson, and I get it. Mark Jackson used to like to go to church during his. Okay, but dude, it should not matter if you can coach a team, dude. Mark Jackson. I mean, really, what? That might be one of the biggest blackballs I've seen in sports. Is the Mark Jackson?
What is the reasoning behind that? I know we got to go in a little bit, but I have yet to figure out the reasoning behind why Mark Jackson can't get a coaching job.
He's his own guy, right? He's a New Yorker through and through. He's just that type of guy who doesn't take nonsense. You know, he clashed heads apparently in Golden State, and they didn't like some of the things that he would do. But really, at the end of the day, when I look at Mark Jackson in an NBA huddle, I see a leader of men. That's who I see.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me that he can't get a job in Sacramento? He couldn't get a job in New Orleans? I mean, the Charlotte Hornets, just hire him. Why not? That's a very young team there who Jordan has sunk to the little ground, literally. I mean, really, it just blows my mind that Mark Jackson is not an NBA head coach. He's a phenomenal broadcaster, and
SR's in here, and he did make a statement, and I don't know how true it is. I'm going to put it up on the screen. I don't know how true it is, but I mean, he did make some kind of jokes apparently in San Francisco nonetheless.
Yeah, isn't he? He did some things that I get it. But Rudy, there's people who said some crazy stuff. Tim Hardaway said some stuff over the air. It just seems like people have forgiven him.
Yeah.
I mean, Rob Parker once said something about Robert Griffin, which I won't say on the air, but
yeah,
you forget Rob has his own show on Fox. I mean, look, I get people do things, but people get forgiven all the time and still have their jobs. And Mark Jackson can't get another job. How many retread coaches we have in the league, Rudy? We get 4 or 5 jobs, still stinking up the joint.
Yeah,
I leave it at that.
Yeah,
crazy. I know. Yeah,
it is true.
And San Francisco.
Yeah, I did say he made fun of the Rainbow Mafia, and that's true. So yeah, I mean, if Jill's telling me, I heard about it. I didn't know how true it really was. You know, on anything like that. I will say this on one thing before we go. We have the Giannis thing up there. I'm going to talk to you more over the weekend, and maybe we'll run a quick show over the weekend on this. But the whole Kevin Durant to San Antonio thing, Jeff and I did a show earlier. There's fire, there's smoke, there's fire. I think in this instance, yeah, there's some rumors, there's some rumblings with that. But can you imagine a team that's not even being talked about? And I'm going to throw it out there. Don't sleep on the Denver Nuggets trying to move Michael Porter and possibly just maybe moving Jamal Murray and bringing in Kevin Durant to go with Jokic. They still have Aaron Gordon. So that front court would be, and Christian Braun. I mean, don't sleep on Denver this offseason. I really think they're going to make a move.
No, I like the move. You get a guy who last year, as I've said, a very good season, shot the basketball, did everything he needed to do. Just obviously, wasn't enough. But I like the opportunity for Kevin to go to an actual team who could win. If he goes to San Antonio, I'm not saying that they can't get to the playoffs, but
they're a playoff team.
Yeah,
I just don't think they're contenders, title contenders.
Unless Wemby starts averaging 30, 35 a game, I mean, then you're like, whoa, it's possible, but no. Spurs
there's
fans,
more moves. Yeah, there's more moves that they need to do besides Kevin Durant. I mean,
no, I agree.
There's a lot more moves that they got to do besides Kevin Durant. Yeah, I got the other one. Mark Jackson believes in Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. Wow. Okay. That's why I love all you guys out there, man. Y'all always post the good stuff. And you know what? This is y'all show. It's a show for the people, by the people. Shout out to Coach Gio, man. Rudy Campos Jr. Shout out Derek Irvin, man, doing his thing over there. This is Sweep the League, the Friday Night Delight edition of Sweep the League. Remember, Grading the Market is back tomorrow. They go live at 1 o'clock on Saturday, so they'll be back. It's Jacob Eric. It's going to be Anthony. Normally, sometimes Chris Leha and Josh Cooks, they tend to get onto the show from time to time. But again, Grading the Market on Sweep the League TV on YouTube. Sure to follow. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. That way you're not missing any show. Also, the show, which I think Gio's going to be a guest on. I haven't asked him, but we're getting guests lined up for the new show, Gio, Talking Sith. Sith Lord Elias is dropping a show with Sweep the League. It's no holds barred. He asks the questions, you give the answers. And apparently the first guest of his, he's going to really grill the shit out of that person. So
it's going to be you, Rudy?
Unfortunately, I think it is going to be me. So apparently I can't hold back on anything. And I told him I don't want questions ahead of time. You just ask me, and I tell you. Talking Sith is going to be coming to the network here pretty soon. But nonetheless, we're going to see you guys next week. Don't forget, Grading the Market is tomorrow for Coach Gio. It's Rudy Campos Jr. Until we sweep the league again, we'll see you later, knuckleheads. Are you looking for a contracting company that gets the job done right the first time? Look no further than MCS General Contracting. MCS specializes in top quality concrete work, including patios, driveways, foundations, and swimming pools. The team of experts are dedicated to delivering exceptional results and unparalleled customer satisfaction. At MCS General Contracting, they're not just hardworking, they're local. Based in San Antonio, they are committed to building relationships and trust within the community. That's why MCS guarantees your satisfaction. They pride themselves on getting the job done right the first time, every time. So why wait? Contract MCS General Contracting today to schedule your project and experience the difference for yourself. MCS General Contracting, building a better San Antonio, one project at a time. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League.